Hello everyone, this is Buddha Zen Wisdom, accompanying you every day. Single at 55, retired, with a monthly pension of $1,600. I manage my life this way, and it's no worse than anyone else's. Audrey Hepburn once said that a woman's charm grows with age. As time passes, a woman's wisdom in life becomes richer. Especially after retirement, they can show unique elegance and composure. Today, I'm going to share a women's stories. These single women, at 55 years old, live an impressive life with a pension of $1,600, no less than anyone else. After 50, they break through the boundaries of minimalism, enriching themselves with care, and rediscover the youthful sparkle in life. And within their wisdom of saving money, they know how to create a high-quality life at a low cost. These experiences are not only about material management but also spiritual richness, showing the strength of women at every stage of life to live confidently and gracefully. 1. I retired at 55. A single woman with a retirement pension of just $1,600, but I live no worse than anyone else. How should one live this life to make it comfortable and without regrets? I'm Huanjie, retired for 5 years. Because I was self-employed, I contributed to the lowest tier of Social Security, so my pension is a little over $1,600. I have a daughter, who stayed in another city after graduating from university. She has a stable job. She's 28 this year, and like me, she's single. Her father and I divorced after she finished her college entrance exams. There wasn't much drama between us. After a few years of marriage, we realized we weren't compatible, what people today would call a mismatch in values. We couldn't find common ground, nor connect on a deeper level. But since we had a daughter, we endured for her sake until she finished her exams, and then we finally found relief. Back then, I got married because I was older, pressured by my family, and hastily chose my ex-husband. So, when it comes to my daughter's relationships and marriage, I take a relaxed attitude. We both share the same outlook, living happily and comfortably is what matters, without caring about others' opinions. For example, even with my $1,600 pension, I live a happy and contented life. When friends find out, they can't believe it, and some even ask in a sympathetic tone if it's really enough. I laugh and tell them, not only is it enough, but I even have some left over. For me, food and clothing are the simplest and least costly parts of life. But don't think that just because I say simple and inexpensive, I'm skimping or not treating myself well. I do enjoy myself. In the morning, I usually wake up naturally, with the sunlight streaming through the curtains. If it's raining or overcast, I'll stay cozy in bed. For breakfast, I don't like milk because I'm lactose intolerant, so I use my blender to make all kinds of nutritious drinks. Though the blender is a bit noisy, which spoils the perfect atmosphere, the fresh aroma of the drink is irresistible, smooth, and full of flavor. I pair it with a sweet potato or half an ear of corn, warming both my stomach and heart. The beans and sweet potato or corn cost just a few cents. For lunch, which is my most substantial meal, I usually have one meat dish and one vegetable. When I stir-fry greens, I don't use meat. I buy seasonal vegetables like crown daisies, spinach, or bok choy, and sauté them quickly with garlic and scallions. For the meat dish, I like meatballs. I buy a pound of ground meat and some lotus root, chop them up and make little meatballs. I freeze them, and whenever I crave meat, I steam a few or make a meatball soup, which is delicious. A pound of meat and a piece of lotus root can make 30 to 40 meatballs, enough for 6 to 7 meals. It costs just a few cents per meal, and we Northerners love our noodles. Big dumplings and steamed buns are daily staples. A batch of steamed buns can last me several days. As the saying goes, nothing is as satisfying as lying down, and nothing tastes as good as dumplings. You can buy 15 dumpling wrappers for just $1. I use just a quarter of a head of cabbage, costing a few dollars, and it's enough for a meal. There's both meat and vegetables, economical and convenient. Since my belly never shrank after menopause, I don't eat much at night. Back home, we have an abundance of apples. Every winter, my nephew sends me several boxes, and they last me through the winter and spring. Of course, sometimes I do want to indulge in a fancy meal, and when I do, I don't hold back. Steamed fish, boiled shrimp after all, I do have a pension, and occasional indulgence isn't excessive. 2. As for clothing, I prioritize comfort and appropriateness. I like soft, simple clothes that make me feel at ease in daily life. I focus on quality and would rather buy one good quality piece than 10 cheap ones. Good quality clothes are not only comfortable and decent, but they also last for many years without going out of style. Especially coats, overcoats, and down jackets, those I bought when I was young, I still wear in retirement. Young people are fickle with their clothes. My daughter wears something once or twice and then doesn't like it anymore. I tell her not to throw them away but bring them home to me. I pick out the sweaters and t-shirts I can wear, and let me tell you, I look perfectly fine in them, even quite fashionable. My daughter is happy and says she gained a sister. Since retiring, I haven't bought any clothes at all. 3. As for skincare, you might not believe it, but I don't have a vanity, nor do I own a set of cosmetics. When I was younger, I couldn't afford them. As I got older, I felt they were all high-tech products anyway. When my daughter was little, I used cheap children's skincare, and now I use domestic brands like Meijajing or Yuming. In recent years, I've also used Friendship Snow Cream. My face is just as moisturized as anyone else's. No matter how old a woman gets, she loves beauty. I usually wear a hat and mask when I go out to protect myself from the sun. Though I'm almost 60, I've never used high-end cosmetics, yet my complexion is no worse than my peers. 4. Women love bags, and so do I. But I prefer canvas bags. I have several large canvas bags that can hold an umbrella, a thermos, and even the groceries I buy. I also enjoy making my own bags from my daughter's old jeans or linen clothes. I sew inner pockets inside, perfect for my phone, keys, and change. These handmade bags are both beautiful and practical, and environmentally friendly. When people compliment them and ask where I bought them, my heart swells with pride. Sometimes, I get so excited that I make one to give away. 5. I have a beloved pet. It's not a dog or a cat, but an electric scooter my daughter gave me. It's cute, obedient, and does whatever I ask, never throwing a tantrum and leaving me stranded. It always brings me home safely. It only needs a few hours of charging each day, never being a burden to me. It has been with me for 3 years, and I've taken good care of it, so it's still like new. We're inseparable now, always together. 6. I have a little home, just 70 square meters. Though it's a bit old, it gives me a sense of security, and maintaining it is cheap. The property fees and utilities are only $100 to $150 per month. I used to have a bigger house, the one where the 3 of us lived. After my ex-husband moved out, one night I woke up and looked around at the familiar yet strange home and decided to sell it. I wanted a new environment, one without any traces of him. I wanted to bid farewell to the past and start a new life with no regrets. So, I sold the big house and bought a smaller place in a more convenient neighborhood. I saved the remaining money as a dowry for my daughter. Last year, with housing prices low, I took the money out and helped her buy a small apartment in the city where she works, so she doesn't have to rent anymore. Now she has her own property before marriage and a fallback option in life. My house is in the middle of the city, bustling with life outside, but warm and peaceful inside, making me feel safe and content. 7. I'm not someone who only seeks pleasure and dislikes work. Even after retirement, I occasionally take up jobs to earn money. But I only choose short-term, lighter work because I know my needs are low, and I don't need much to live on. What could really make this single old woman poor overnight are natural disasters or disease, things that no amount of prevention can avoid. 8. Exercise is important to me, even in retirement. In the mornings, after a light breakfast, I often go for a walk in the nearby park or take a stroll around the neighborhood. When I was younger, I didn't pay much attention to my health, but as I aged, I realized that staying active is the key to a good life. Walking every day has become a habit, and I even participate in the square dancing group with the other retirees in the park. We dance in the mornings and sometimes in the evenings. It's a simple but effective way to stay healthy, and it doesn't cost anything. Plus, it helps me feel connected to the community, even though I mostly prefer my own company. In the afternoons, if I'm feeling energetic, I might do some light exercises at home, like yoga or stretching. I've found that a balanced life includes a little bit of everything: movement, rest, work, and fun. 9. Social life for me is simple, as I'm not someone who needs constant interaction. Since retiring, I've maintained a close relationship with a few old friends, and we occasionally meet for tea or a walk in the park. But most of the time, I'm content with my own company. I believe that a woman must learn to enjoy solitude, to appreciate the peace and calm that comes from within. It's not loneliness, it's a choice to be with oneself and enjoy the quiet moments of life. Of course, I keep in touch with my daughter often. Though we live in different cities, we call each other frequently, sharing the little details of our lives. She always asks if I'm doing well and if I need anything, but I tell her that I'm fine and enjoying my life. It gives me great comfort to know that she's independent and living her life on her own terms. In a way, it feels like I've passed on my philosophy of living to her, and that makes me proud. 10. Travel is something I don't indulge in as much as others, but I do like to explore new places within the city or nearby. Sometimes, I take a bus to the outskirts of town to enjoy a quiet day in nature, watching the birds or sitting by the river. I find joy in the simple things: breathing in the fresh air, feeling the breeze, and observing life around me. Occasionally, when my daughter has time off, we'll plan a small trip together. We don't go far, but it's nice to spend time with her and enjoy new experiences. Though I'm single, I don't feel the need for grand vacations or luxurious trips. I've found contentment in the small pleasures of life, and that's more than enough for me. 11. Financial management has become second nature to me. With a monthly pension of $1,600, I carefully plan my expenses, ensuring that I always have enough for my needs and a little extra for unexpected situations. I'm a firm believer in living within my means and saving whenever I can. For example, I keep track of my utility bills and try to conserve energy by turning off lights and appliances when not in use. My grocery shopping is planned, and I always buy in-season fruits and vegetables because they're cheaper and fresher. I also make use of discounts and promotions whenever possible, but I never buy things I don't need. This frugal lifestyle has allowed me to build a small emergency fund, which gives me peace of mind knowing that I'm prepared for whatever life throws my way. 12. Giving back is something I value deeply. Even though I'm retired, I still find ways to contribute to society. Sometimes, I volunteer at local community events, helping organize gatherings or assisting with charity sales. I've also learned to crochet and knit, and I make small items like scarves, hats, or socks to donate to local shelters during the colder months. It's a way for me to stay active, use my skills, and give back to those who may need a little extra warmth and care. Knowing that I can still be of use to others, even in my later years, brings me immense satisfaction. I believe that as long as we're able, we should find ways to be helpful to others. It's one of the secrets to a fulfilling life. In conclusion, my life as a single woman at 55, with a $1,600 monthly pension, may seem modest to some, but it's a life I've carefully crafted for myself. It's a life full of simplicity, frugality, contentment, and joy. I don't need much to be happy: just a warm home, good health, a few close relationships, and the knowledge that I'm living true to myself. I hope that other women can see from my experience that no matter what stage of life you're in, you can live beautifully and confidently, without worrying about what others think or having to conform to societal expectations. After all, life is what you make of it, and I've chosen to make mine peaceful, meaningful, and full of grace.